Holy shit. Okay, so it's the next day. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? It is already 5 o'clock, so I've been working on this for roughly 5 hours. Holy shit, 5 hours. That's a long time. As you can see, the manifolds have the catalytic converters. That is fan-freaking-tastic that they're welded on. But as you can see, the cradle is still in the car. I just pulled the engine out. What a shit show. I mean, absolutely horrible to do this job. I do not want to relive it. I almost don't want to put an engine back in it. I am that freaking... Holy shit. That's how I feel. Oh, this is just about as bad as working on a Ford. And, I've worked on a 6-liter, so this is just as bad. Like I said, there's 3 torque converter bolts, so that's pretty handy. And what I ended up doing, well, trying to get at them from the access on the driver's side of the engine. Forget about it. I don't even know why there's an access there. I mean, you physically can't hardly get anything in up there, and I got one click of my ratchet to turn that bolt, and luckily they weren't 10 miles long. But it's still a pain. Trust me on that. So here we are with the finished product. I mean, look at the space in here between strut tower and strut tower. There's not that much space whatsoever. Yeah, what's up? But I got the radiator out thanks to my handy dandy specialty tool. It should still be on it somewhere, wherever the transmission line's at. Couldn't tell you. Oh, it's on the radiator. That's where it's at. Oh, it's right here. That off there. So this is the OTC tool. And it goes around the line, you squeeze it, put it inside the fitting. Right here, this fitting sits down right on the inside of there, releases the spring clip in there, and bada bing, bada boom, you get yourself a tranny line loose from the engine. $23 for a piece of spring steel like that. That's disgusting. But I ended up taking the power steering reservoir out. Just made things easier. Took the belt tensioner off. But I took the plenum out last night with the fuel rail. I think you saw that in the last video. But with the starter out, surprisingly, you can see those torque converter bolts. When I took the starter out on my last North Star, which, you know, went in this way instead of this way, I had to buy a special wrench set that had, you know, the wrench come down, go like that and like that in order to get down and in to the torque converter bolt, because it sat down inside the hole where you couldn't get a socket in straight on it because it would have had to have gone like that. And I managed to get away with that. But this is right in the access hole now. So am I going to save some time by doing that? Big time. So I'm pretty excited about not having to fiddle fart with that, considering the fact that I already had to take the plenum off. You can see the bolt, and maybe it's not as lined up, but I think we can get away with it. And even I've still got my special wrench. Well, I think that one's missing, so I might have to go buy some more. I got them at Harbor Freight, but we got to pull this plenum off. I just picked up parts today, so got plenum gaskets or O-rings or whatever. My new alternator belt. That's the only thing they had in stock for that, so I took it. Otherwise, I would have gotten the gates. But oil filter. Got oil in the car out there yet. Other than that, I don't know. That's about it. Headlight dried out very nicely since it was sitting out in the sun. It's just got dirt and crap in there. I think I showed you that last video. But if you haven't seen the last video, go check it out. Whatever. Left the alternator on. I was able to get that out, no problem. I had to take the throttle body off because I hooked it to the bolt going here, the bolt going here. And before I do this on that engine, I'm going to go get some bolts that are longer of that thread and probably stronger, so I can do this without ruining bolts. So 2 bell housing bolts there, and the bell housing bolt holes backwards. They normally go in that way, which it would have been absolutely astronomically easier if they went like that. Yeah, if they were like that, I wouldn't have had to fight so much to get those out. But take the intake plenum off, and you got room back there. So I think I tried taking them off, and I think I did take them off without removing the intake plenum, and then it came to doing something else, and the starter wires, and I was like, all right, we got to take it off. There's no two ways about it. Ooh, I'm tripping over stuff. Don't do that. Oh, what a mess. Look at all the wires. It is just ridiculous. And then this bracket that bolts to the engine with the wiring harness and crap, that is fantastic that you can't get at those bolts because the firewall. Let me show you what you can see through the firewall or the side firewall thing. Absolutely nothing. So, getting at those are, a dream and a half. So, just undid the bottom motor mount bolts, and I lifted it up, and I tilted it up this way at first, and then I think I started picking the back end up, but I had to take the sway bar out too because that was directly in the way. I like how the brake lines were directly over the bolt hole there, so I had to pull them back, and there's just so much going on here. It is just unreal. There's so much going on. I think I took 3 or 4 ground wires just on the back of the cylinder head there as I'm pulling the engine out. So as the engine goes in, I got to put them in, and they were kind of getting pulled on a little bit, so I got to put the engine in a little bit further. It's just going to be a mess. It's really going to be a mess. You can see how the brake lines look. They're not too terribly great, especially going back to that. They really look yummy. So that's why I figure if I go to do head studs in this car, it'll be getting some brake lines done too, because everything's right here in the open. You might as well, right? Yeah, I should be doing it now, but I ain't made of money. That's for sure. And this project's I've already got $160 just in parts. And that's not including the new main belt, which I wanted, but O'Reilly's wanted like $56 for it, and I could order it from Rock Auto for $43 or something. So, I don't know. Or less than that. I don't know, maybe it was $20-some. $20-some for a Dayco belt at the Rock Auto, and it was $50-some at O'Reilly's. And I just can't. No. No, we're not doing mega copious amounts of cost for what. So, but I absolutely needed an alternator belt, and it just sucks. That's the only thing they had, and I primarily shop at O'Reilly's, so why don't you go here, there. Well, I didn't want to drive all over town. I just kind of wanted to get my parts and go. Which I already had to go in twice. I picked up exhaust manifold gaskets, but those weren't in stock. I had to come back and get them, which is right here, actually. So we're relatively ready to go. Oh, Lord. I am not. I think I'm going to go see about some lunch before I continue this. And at this rate, it is looking like the car won't be going till Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I might have the engine in and buttoned up tomorrow afternoon. And today, granted, I got a late start, and I could probably put in, 12-hour day today, had I started earlier, because I'm not going to interrupt my bedtime. I'm already having a hard enough time with that. So, we're just... one of the most fun things I've had to do now was that bracket that holds all the electrical wires on the back side of the engine. It goes on there like that, and both those bell housing bolts hold that on there, but yet all those wires back there go into a hole, clip into a hole. What a pain in the ass, because the last bell housing bolt that I forgot about, which is, oh, what was that? It was probably that one right there. I had to get at from the top because there's no way to physically get at it from the bottom. So, I tell you, this car is, if I had to charge labor, is making me spend every minute for every dollar that I did not pay for this car in value. I mean, I got it dirt cheap and I'm paying for it now. Holy shit. What a pain in the ass. I don't want to do this again. I really don't. If I do, the cradle's coming out. No two ways about it. The reason why I did it this way mainly is for the air compressor, the AC. I didn't want to mess with the AC if it works, which I don't know, especially since it's been sitting for a couple of years. I don't know, but I wanted to keep it intact. I didn't want to open it up. I didn't have a way to reclaim it, so I just left it alone. I figure it's way on the bottom of the engine. I can lift the engine out without that being a problem, and I pretty much did. So, well, you saw I did. But the power steering's out of the way, all that good stuff. So, oh man, I'm just not looking forward to this so much now. That's a lot of work. And I don't know at what point I'll get this engine sent back. I want to hear this engine run before I send that back. So, that'll be fun, but I got to transfer all that stuff. Manifolds, motor mounts, alternator, which I got to clean up. I bought some electric parts cleaner because it has just been getting puked on relentless by the valve covers. Let me show you how bad these valve covers are leaking. And for 100,000 miles, I don't know if it's just been over the last couple of years, look at all that oil coming off the valve cover. That is just pathetic. And look at the alternator. That is just disgusting. Oh my gosh, the whole front of this engine is disgusting. It should not be black. Let's go look at the other one if I can get... Okay, never mind. Take that back. But look how shiny and clean that is. Decent. You can see a little bit of valve cover leakage, I suppose. I suppose there is some right in here. But I think I'm going to let it roll for the minute. I guess, I don't know if those are leaking or if it's a valve cover. I guess it is starting to leak pretty good. I don't know. It's like $78 for a freaking valve cover kit at O'Reilly's, and at Rock Auto it's like $40-some. I told you that in the last video. It's just disgusting. God, I hate paying too much for parts. Especially for the same brand, quality, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. So... But hopefully we can get this sucker in, fired up, purring like a kitten, and then we'll go from there. Oh, Lordy. This is a lot of work. And that's a lot of work just to drop the cradle. But I probably could have done that in just about half the time, because I've got roughly 5 hours today, and I've got about... I started at 12-ish yesterday when I got back, 12:30-ish. I didn't go in until about 9:30. So I ate, went to bed late because I had to eat some dinner because I hadn't really had lunch. I had a donut I had a bagel. I had a donut today, but a bagel yesterday, 12:30-ish. No, 2:30-ish. I don't know. I was starving. I hadn't had lunch, and breakfast was at like 8. So... yeah, there's just so much going on with this project. It's not even funny. I don't know what to do with the rotors. They really need to be resurfaced. I really don't want to mess with stuff too much. It's almost like I just give it the old hit the brakes and clean the rust off, while you're driving type of thing. But I don't know. I really just want to get the thing driving. And the transmission fluid that came out of the line was just brownish black. I'm like, yeah, that's wonderful. For 100,000 miles, every other GM I've seen isn't that completely and utterly disgusting. It's usually a brownish red, but this was just brown. So I don't know if they used a clear transmission fluid in this from the factory, because I know some of the European ones do that, and then you drain the fluid and it's black and you're like, oh boy, that's not good. And then you buy the new OEM fluid and it's still clear. So I don't know if this had clear fluid or if it was red, but it ain't. It's far from red now. So it wasn't, so black you couldn't see through it, but it's, if it was red, that's rather concerning. And at some point we'll have to pull that the pan off when we do the transmission fluid change, because of the amount of leakage that's seeping that's happening down there. I can't believe, a couple years to sit in 100,000 miles in 17 years? What is this? 2020, so 15 years. 15 years, and the thing is seeping real bad. Not real bad, but it's seeping, and it's making a mess. So it's just like this was. So anyway, well, I suppose that's all I got, and I don't know what that is. I don't think I have that on this engine. I did not take one off. That I did not. I don't know what that is. Okay. Man, oh man. The amount of corrosion, too, when I pull off the radiator hoses was just nuts. And I can't believe I cut every hose. Too lazy to take that off. So I don't know what this is that's coming off, though. It must be a California emission garbagey or something. 109,000, 4.6 liter. Ooh. Well, probably have to go pick up a throttle body gasket. But, man, these things are easier to work on outside the car. That is a freaking fact. So, alrighty, I suppose I gotta get things cleaned up, prepped up, and I want to have this engine in tonight, but I don't know how that's gonna go because I'm hungry now and I'd like some food. So, probably go get some food, get some energy, ambition, if there is any to be had, and get this freaking thing swapped over, finished up, and tomorrow I want to hear it run, and that's the fact I want. So anyway, I suppose, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy watching me slave away relentless. Not that you've seen me do any work, but trust me, it's getting done, and I'm doing the work. I don't have secret helpers. So thanks for watching. God bless.